Hello everyone, thanks so much for tuning in today. I sound really professional right now because I've filmed this already 3 times. I just kind of kept changing what I wanted to talk about. But I've settled on that I want to talk about this book because I just read the chapter that is about truthfulness and I found it really interesting. So it's the Yamas and Niyamas. If you don't know what those are, they're part of yoga practice. So here it just says that you can think of them as guidelines, ethical disciplines, precepts, or restraints and observances. The author, Deborah Adele, says that she often thinks of them as jewels because they are rare gems of wisdom that give direction to a well-lived and joyful life. In yogic philosophy, these jewels sit as the first 2 limbs of the Eightfold Path. So there are all these practices. So there was a part of this that was written that really kind of spoke to me a little bit about who I am as a person and my growing up. And something I've really connected with recently is how much social anxiety I've lived with for a lot of my life. And I talk a lot in these videos about being a really sensitive person, what I would call a highly sensitive person. So much so that I'm a little different than others. Not everybody, because a lot of people are this way, but it's not a majority. Anyways, I think when I was younger, I would just feel things really hard, and the way that I reacted to things was reflected to me in society that there was something wrong with me, and that made me feel like there was something wrong with me. And so I tried really hard to hide who I was, and I'm only just kind of uncovering this for myself. So one of the things that I do in my world that I still do is that I like to compartmentalize my worlds. So I have a boyfriend that lives outside of my life here. That is very comfortable for me. You know, I would love it if he was a part of this world, but there's also some of that would scare me really badly. And I don't know why. No, I do know why. I'm starting to figure it out. Also, I like having all different kinds of friendships. It's not that I don't like my friends to blend together. It's just that I get really anxious when people that are different or I don't know together are all coming together at the same time. A great example was like my high school reunion. It was very overwhelming for me because I felt that I needed to be a certain way for everyone, and I don't connect that with being fake, but some of the things in this book have really made me understand maybe a little more of what my challenge was. And I think that it's a truthfulness of who I am and of being comfortable with myself in order to be truthful with others about who I am. And I think that I have not been comfortable with that. Maybe because I didn't know myself, or I was just really afraid that that self that I was the person that people were going to reject. So this statement in here really stood out to me a lot, and I was like, wow, I really, really can identify that. And it says, "My biggest fear is that everyone I know will be in the same room at the same time, and I won't know who to be." And I was like, oh my God, that is me. That is totally me. I get so nervous. Like, I'll often tell my mom that it's hard for me to enjoy opening a present because I'm so worried that I might hurt the person's feelings who bought it for me if I don't react in the appropriate way, or if I'm not grateful enough or excited enough. When I am thanking people, you know, I want to overthank them. I want to make sure they know, but then that moves into a zone that seems sort of insincere too. And maybe it's because it is insincere. I'm overly doing it to make sure that it's known. This chapter really also talked a little bit about nice, and it talked about being kind of wary of that nice person because truth isn't always nice. And so if you are someone who is always saying the right thing or the nice thing, then you may not be being very honest with people. But you can't just go around slapping the truth stick around in everyone's face because that can be kind of violent. So that's what it's talking about, that these, you know, ideas and guidelines marry well together. And since we read about nonviolence in the first one, I think we needed to learn about that so we could learn a little more about truthfulness. So I'm going to just try and be really honest and real. And I think that's kind of what these videos are doing. So here's my real day today. Just me reading books and doing hair. Peace out. I'll see you later. Bye.